For years, the people of Ontario have been seeking a new course. We have heard the voices of those who cannot afford another tax and simply cannot extend themselves any further. Our government was elected on a clear mandate to put the people first and make life more affordable for Ontario families. That included our plan to bring an end to the Liberal cap-and-trade carbon tax. We have already introduced legislation to this effect, but, Mr. Speaker, my constituents in Kitchener South Hespeler are concerned that the federal government is just going to replace this cap-and-trade with another Trudeau tax. Will the Minister of the Environment advise us what the government is doing to ensure the tax we are fighting so hard to get rid of will not be replaced with another one?
Great question.
For the Environment, Conservation and Parks.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank the member from Kitchener South Hespeler for a question. I'm pleased to, as the House knows, we began the debate of Bill 4 in this legislature, the Cap-and-Trade Cancellation Act, which will finally put an end to the cap-and-trade here in Ontario. And, Mr. Speaker, we did not do that to see it replaced by a federal Liberal tax. This morning, I was pleased to join my colleague, the Attorney General, to announce the next steps the government's taking to the courts to stop the federal government. Mr. Speaker, today we announced we'll be taking the feds to court to challenge their carbon tax. Mr. Speaker, it'll be a great day for Ontario when we win that court challenge, and we will win that court challenge. Speaker, we promised that we would make use of every tool in our toolkit to make sure that we stopped a federal tax and a provincial tax.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, back to the Minister. I'd like to thank you for your response, and I completely support what you are doing to respect our taxpayers. Speaker, we understand that carbon taxes are not effective, and that the people of Ontario understand that carbon taxes will not be revenue neutral. Today, with uncertainty in the global economy and turmoil in our trade relationships, the people and the businesses of Ontario simply cannot afford another job-killing tax.
Hear, hear.
Now it seems that Prime Minister Trudeau is admitting it. After closed-doors meetings with businesses, they are softening their tone. No doubt they heard the same things that we are hearing from average Canadians every day. A carbon tax is simply unaffordable. Minister, will you continue to fight for those who cannot afford the cost of a Trudeau carbon tax?
Question. Response, Minister of the Environment.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the member for her supplementary question. As the member noted yesterday, the federal Liberals started their climb down on carbon tax after meetings with business where those businesses were clear that they could not compete globally with a carbon tax hanging over their head. In effect, the Trudeau Liberals are now acknowledging that they are inviting economic catastrophe with their carbon tax.
Fine.
The federal government is now acknowledging that their carbon tax is bad for jobs and bad for business. If the Prime Minister is willing to make deals with business on the carbon tax, it's time for him to do the right thing and scrap his carbon tax for all of the people. Mr. Speaker, our message to the Prime Minister is clear. It's never too late to do the right thing. Cancel your carbon tax.